everybody, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. I'm going to show you my bullet journal. It's not exactly my first bullet journal. I did a practice or test one at the beginning of this year to make sure I was going to actually use one, and then when I used that I got this. And so this is my first official bullet journal, and it's kind of cool, so I'm going to show you. Ready? Okay, so this is the front of my bullet journal. It says, do the impossible with God. It has this sticker. These are both stickers that my mom gave me because she scrapbooks, and anytime she doesn't want stickers, she gives them to me, and then I'll get them for Christmas and stuff too. So it's nice. I believe the first thing I did was I wrote Kate's bullet journal, April 25, 2020. I am not a hand lettering person. I do not do calligraphy. My mom does. A lot of people who do bullet journals do. I write in cursive, and that is it. My bullet journal is not one of those super fancy ones, but I make it work. And then this is where I tested all my markers, just so I could see beforehand whether or not they were going to go through. So pens and markers and things that I intended on using. And you can see the top ones go through just a little bit, but it's not like the biggest deal. And then the bottom ones are a little worse because those are markers and highlighters and stuff. Calligraphy pens that I use as highlighters. So this is my future log. Oh wait, sorry, yeah, I did this to keep track of where all the points are and everything, like how many lines I can fit and whatever. Sorry, the sticky notes to cover dates so that we're not giving out important information. So this is my future log. I kind of skipped the whole calendar thing. I just need a future log to know which dates are where. And so I just did, okay, look, here's my, just for the rest of the year, right? Because I started in April, at the end of April, making this. And then here is, this side goes up because I found it easier to do it that way for whatever reason. And then I put Psalm 127 at the bottom. Well, Psalm 127:1. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. So, yeah. And, these are the colors that I feel like the months should be. I don't know if it's synesthesia or something else, but I just have a certain picture in my head of which color each month is. And so, like, May can never be purple, you know? Like, it has to be blue because that's just the color that May is in my head. So, yeah. Anyway, so this is how I did my budget. I'm really excited because I haven't really kept a budget before, really. And so, anyway, I wrote in green because money is green. So then I put my monthly bills, and I'm going to add them up down here and be like, okay, this is the total of bills. And then this is for actual, like the budget thing. I put priceless sticker right here because, well, it's kind of foggy, but it says priceless because it's a budget, and I thought it would be funny. So, yeah, this is my way of doing my budget. So I have the month and then my income. So I get 2 checks a month. So I can put one check here, the other check here, and the total down there. And then I can say, all right, so this is how much I paid into bills. So this is how much I had remaining. This is how much I spent on groceries, and this is how much I had after that. This is how much I had spent on allowance, and this is how much I had after that. This is how much I spent on giving, and this is how much of that money that I earned I have remaining. And then savings, this is how much I put into savings, and this is how much I had as a total in savings after that, because I guess the remaining amount will go into savings. Yeah, so then it's the same for each month. And then the bottom is the average of all those months, so I could just get a general idea of how much I'm doing. And then, I did the other months in the year, and then I did the total at the bottom for the whole year, or I guess it's not a whole year, but 8 months, because it just would be cool to see. And then a lot of this is just, ooh, this would be cool. So I memorize a lot of songs, so I just decided to do song memory here. So this is, it's how I keep track of which songs I've started memorizing and which songs I finished. And actually, I just finished this one, so I need to fill in and put May. But that way I can keep track of how long it takes to memorize a song. And, yeah, so I did a whole sheet for song memory, and this is a whole other one. I didn't know how many songs I was going to memorize, and so I left lots of room. So it goes down there. So, yeah. And then this is my book log. And honestly, I think I would have done it slightly differently. But, whatever. It works for me for right now. I have the number of the book in order that I read it. So if I want to reference it later in the bullet journal, I can be like book 2 or whatever. And then I can say the title and whether or not I finished it and how I rated it and what age I would say it's like the youngest person I would have read it. Because if I'm taking care of kids, it's good to know. And then this is themes that are in there. And then this is there questionable content? And if there is, you can put it here. I have a page for that. Yeah. But so yeah. So a questionable content, and then the symbol is how I keep track of genre. So I have symbols for romance, fantasy, mystery, biography, history, sci-fi, historical fiction, theology, medicine, and fairy tales, because those are pretty much all the ones that I read. And then I have this beautiful quote from C.S. Lewis, who is one of my favorite people. He said, "You can never get a cup of tea large enough or a book long enough to suit me." And I can relate. C.S. Lewis, I can relate. So yeah, so then I continued my book log. And so the reason I did this, actually, for the questionable content, and put I cut a, scrapbook paper up and put it here, is because not only does it look nice, but it covers the fact that what I did on this page doesn't go through onto this page now, or you can't see it anymore. So yeah, I did that a lot in my first bullet journal as well, because it didn't have the ability to take anything. Every single writing went through. And then this is for my knit and crochet projects, because I do them, so I can write, oh look, I did this thing. And then, yeah, I can keep track of how many times I did it, or when I finished it, or whatever. And then this is how I did my brain dump at the beginning of the bullet journal, because I was like, I have so much stuff to do. And so I just did it in the regular Ryder Carroll way, I feel like. Generally speaking, I was like, this is all I need to do. Oh. And then I was like, okay, cool. And I left this blank for a while. I'll come back to it. So then I started on May, which is, of course, blue in my head, so I made it blue. And this month I'm praying for orphans and widows. I wrote in my earlier test bullet journal what I wanted to pray for in each month. And so I'm kind of trying to stick with that, just because I think it's kind of cool. And so I did this calendar, as you can see. And it has the days at the bottom. This is just an extra part, and this scrapbook paper fit perfectly, and I thought it was pretty. It has the days in it, And then this is how, I'm going to show you how I do it. So this is how I keep track of how awesome the day was. And then, so I always put it at the top, how I felt about that day at the end of the day. And then the black line, I made this one too because I was going to do this, and then I forgot I did that and did a whole nother one right there. Whatever. But that's how my perceived energy was throughout the day. And so you can see whether or not I felt more or less tired. And some days I kind of slacked, so I just went, I don't know how much energy I had, and skip it. And it's fine, and it works out. So that's that. This is from a quote book that I have. Like, I have a book of, like, quotes or something like that in it. And so I took one of them. I wrote it here, and it says, I will quiet my soul, silence the noise in my head and heart, and ask myself what I really want out of life, which seemed to fit how I feel this month, what I want to do with this month. So, and then this is my bedtime tracker because I want to be better about going to bed on time. I kind of didn't know how to fit it in, and so I decided to start at the bottom and work my way up, and then I realized, oh wait, it's gonna go further than just this line because clearly there's not enough room. I mean, I could have done the math, but I didn't want to, so then I just kept going up, and I kind of skipped a couple places because I messed up. It's life, it happens. I put stickers over places where I mess up sometimes. But yeah, I was just like, oh look, here's how I'm doing it because that's what's working for me this month. You know? Not everything has to be perfect all the time. And then this is how I do, so I do my month with Dutch stores and stuff. So I have weeklies, sort of, that are part of a bigger month. Well, yeah, so anyway, I put the to-do list, I'm just playing around with this way of doing it. I put the to-do list on the side, and it's still kind of like Writer Carol's method, I think, with the little dot, and then you put a check or an X or something when you're done. And so I like to have it this way so that I can see my to-do list for the whole week and don't have to, the whole month, and I don't have to, like, rewrite it. But it can be overwhelming to look at all of that sometimes, so I don't know. So I have week 1 here, and I can be like, okay, here are my hours for working. Is the black right under the day. Here's the date. Here is people that I'm gonna pray with. There's a birthday there, so I put a birthday. And then I put these pink dots. I have colored dots. Let me show you. I keep them in this pocket right here. And so what I do is you use a dot so that in my notes section right here, I can be like, okay, this is a note I wanted to make about this day. And so I can be like, oh, this is what was impacting my day that day. And then I do all of my work schedule on right under there, and then whatever I want. So yeah, so that's how I do my weeks. And I have room at the bottom if I want to write something, but I usually don't, I don't think. So yeah, so then I have week 4. I always have a hard time with ends of months and beginning because, like, this is part of June, and it's like, well, do I put June in a new month, or do I, like, because the week goes on anyway, it's hard. So I decided to put the first week of June in May because something had to happen, and it fit perfectly, so that's what happened. So yeah, so I have this place for notes for the month, things that I've done through the days, or I don't know. And then this is accomplishments of the month, like which books I've read, and outside the box expenses, and yeah, that's my thing, and that's what my bullet journal looks like so far. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I will probably make another one eventually. And if you want to see my first bullet journal, the one that was like the test, I can show you. I did it in a Walmart like 50-cent journal, and I really liked that it was big, but everything bled through, and it had the lines. It didn't have the little dots, but it's pretty cool looking if you want to see that. So, anyway, talk to y'all later. Bye.